Hi, it's River. I know I keep wearing black shirts in these videos. I swear I'm changing. This is just this is a Ben Staples black shirt. I don't know why I said that. What does it fucking matter? I also know I talk really quietly when I'm depressed, but I don't have the energy to talk louder. I'm still struggling. Mostly just struggling about childhood trauma stuff and my abuser and how the dynamics between my mother and my abuser and I. So for the most part, I went no contact with my abuser. Like, I haven't had an actual conversation with him in like over a year. I don't really know when. I think it was last winter though. And my mom still supports him. He still lives with my mom. And me and my mom kind of had some conflict about that over the past couple days. And I'm still really struggling with it. I'm playing with my fidget toy. I realized that, I should say that I'm but I'm depressed and suicidal. I've also haven't taken my antidepressants for the last few days because my ADHD meds were due today and I ran out of my antidepressant meds like 3 days ago, and not wanting to pay to have my script filled twice in a week and not wanting to have to go twice a week because I get my meds every 2 weeks, not wanting to have to do that every 2 weeks, I just decided to hold off on getting my antidepressant for a couple days, few days, whatever. Pharmacist said I shouldn't notice too much of an effect, but maybe this is in part due because of that. So I feel depressed and suicidal. I know I'm depressed because I just have this feeling of sadness with me majority of the day, and I'm losing pleasure in doing a lot of the stuff that brings me pleasure, and I feel like I just have no fucks to give about anything. And I'm feeling suicidal. I've talked about it before, how like when I was suicidal last fall, and I think maybe I was suicidal during the winter too, like in December, I was certain that it was an alter that was brainwashing me, and I thought about how maybe all the times I'm suicidal, that was just this. Maybe all the times I'm suicidal, it's just that alter, but I think that's me. I think this is me, I should say, this episode of suicidal idealization. Because there's no, like, I have the same kind of thought patterns when those times when I've been suicidal, and it's a lot of like speaking to myself, or this alter speaking to me, I believe, and saying like you're, almost like referring to me in third person. And then this is mostly based off emotions, but it's all like I'm thinking of myself as myself. I'm not imagining it as someone else talking to me. And I just want to cry like all the time. But I realized that, I think I spoke about this, that I don't believe my past suicide attempts were truly an attempt to die, and more so an attempt to make this pain stop. And I realized, and I made goals to not commit anymore, because, for the most part, I think about how my sisters have their children, and my mom has my sisters and her grandchildren, and I think about my friends and how they have their partners and how they have other meanings in their lives than just me, and how they would just move on without me. But lately I've been thinking a lot about my partner, and I'm sure one day he would move on. There's only so much you can miss someone before you have to get on with your life. But I think about if anything were to happen to him and how devastated I would be, and I'm sure he wouldn't be happy with me if I killed myself. So I've always talked about how I seem to need external factors to not want to end my life, and this is just one of the external factors that really drive it home that I shouldn't do it. Thankfully, as the years have gone by, I've discovered more internal factors. I want to see myself exceed academically. I want to enter the field. I believe in myself, my abilities and capacity to reach the goals I've always wanted to. So I do have more intrinsic motivations to not want to end my life, but I think the external ones mean more to me for some reason. And I've spoken about, and I've spoken to people about, how do you deal with shitty feelings? How do I get past chronically dissociating from my emotions in the moment, whether that be good emotions or bad emotions, and what steps do I need to take to be able to retain my memories? I've spoken about that, and a lot of the feedback I've gotten was just grounding myself and like living through times like this when I feel absolutely like hell, and I need to basically, the only way through being suicidal is living through being suicidal and building resiliency and distress tolerance. And I feel like I could cry right now, but I don't know if it's because I'm on camera. I just can't connect to that feeling enough, but I haven't been able to so far. It's so weird. And I'm cognizant of the fact that I don't, like I've said, I don't think I truly want to die. Oh God, my cat's coming, and I gave my dog a Kong so he wouldn't bark or try to play with me, and now he's gonna probably come over because my cat's coming, and I love my cat dearly, and I want her to be around me, especially in times like this. But I want her to be quiet, one, because I don't want to deal with the barking and the loudness, but also I just want to get my thoughts out in this video. So I'm cognizant of the fact that I don't truly want to die, or I don't believe I don't. I don't believe I do what am I trying to say? I don't believe I truly want to die, but I do want to do something about this pain, and that's why I'm starting to think about, is this an attempt of self-harm, and it's something I should probably explore with my doctor and my workers, because I've heard about, overdosing on prescription medications as a method of self-harm, but I've never really understood what that meant. Or maybe I have, and I just imagine it like taking more than you actually need to take of like a sedative kind of medication so that you sleep for a long time. Whereas this would be like not necessarily wanting to sleep for a long time, but like wanting a means to an end of this emotional pain. And honestly, back in October, and I was filming all those like suicide videos, I was so upset with that doctor, that emergency doctor who wouldn't admit me. But I think he kind of did something good for me, because I learned a lot about myself and why I behave that way when I feel overwhelmed and depressed. And I feel like I gained more than him saying no to me, than him with just admitting me. And I fucking hate that he was right about not getting dependent on the hospital, not continue to be dependent on the hospital as my coping skill. And maybe that wasn't the best time for me to learn that lesson, because I was very unwell and unstable during that time, but I still learned the lesson nonetheless. So what I'm trying to say, I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but I don't believe I want to die, and that's kind of making it easier to not want to act on these emotions, but I need to find a way to live through it. And I think when I say that statement, I'm thinking like, I think what I mean is I want like a quick fix. I want to take a med and immediately feel better. I want to go to the hospital and feel like something or someone is going to protect me through this pain and hold me and comfort me. And granted, like, nobody actually hugs me when I'm in the hospital, but like, theoretically, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for comfort. I'm hoping for safety and protection. And I think I need to understand that living through this and gaining those skills to continue to be resilient of this mindset is just experiencing this pain for however long it takes, however long this crisis period or this episode lasts for. Because, you know, if I would do what I wanted to, and I have thought about it, like I just thought about, you know, I just refilled my meds, I can refill my PRNs, I can go to the pharmacy and get more. I have thought about that, but I'm thinking like the reason I want to do that is because I want to take those meds, wake up in a hospital bed, and feel like I'm safe. I'm finally somewhere where this pain will be lifted off my shoulders. And I think that's all I really want. And I need to learn to do that by myself. Or my friend actually said something really sweet because I told her how I'm feeling, and she said, "Are you gonna go to the crisis center?" And I told her I might wait until Monday because I work Saturday and Sunday, and I want to work those shifts to not make my team be short-staffed, as well as, you know, build this resiliency inside of me. And, you know, I want to see, maybe by Monday, if I continue to feel this way, that's more of a clear indication that this is something I need to address. And I am addressing it now, but I mean maybe more clinically, like going and staying at the crisis center for the 72 hours, or possibly meeting with my doctor. I've spoken about that. I have thought about maybe I need to take a leave of absence, but there's already 2 people at my job who are taking a leave of absence, and my team will literally explode if someone else does go leave of absence. But I'm just trying to learn. I've been clinically unwell, chronically, for at least over a decade now. And I, like, obviously in childhood I was too, but I wasn't aware of it. And I'm just now learning the skills of living with my illness, and it's just harder than I thought it was gonna be. But it's possible, and I know it's possible. I just need to actually do the painful stuff and live through it instead of just going to the quickest ways to make my body feel better, or maybe not feel better, but I guess I just spoke about how attempting would make me feel better. Thankfully, I make these videos now, and that helps a lot, and my pets help a lot. I went for a walk with my friend, and I went to work today when all I wanted to do yesterday was just call in and wallow in my shit. But I'm trying to push myself, like I said. I took Igor for a walk with my other friend, and he's gonna start barking. He sees my toy and he wants to play. Me and my friend took Igor for a walk, and I ran an errand with them. Okay, I have to play fetch now, I guess. So, I think I'm trying my best, and I do think my best is good enough, but it's extremely hard. And I feel like I'm just faking, because it's like, just get your shit together. Like, why are you so dramatic? And this episode was caused because of childhood sexual abuse and my abuser and my parents and unresolved trauma. But it's also like, well, how are you still able to, like, how do you have your own apartment? How do you work 3 jobs? How are you in school full time? You're just looking for pity or something like that. And I know I'm not, but that's the self-critic in me who says, if you were really unwell, you wouldn't be able to do all this. And I know it's not all or nothing. There's a lot of gray in this, you know, disability and disability in general, but it feels that way sometimes, that I'm just looking for a reason to quit or give up. And I'm supposed to do my researching job today, and I'm torn between making things easier for myself or pushing through and doing what I need to do, and I don't know which one would be better for me, the stress or the stress of trying to get things done when I feel like shit, or the self-care and taking weight off my workload and stuff like that. I feel a little better than when I started this video. I think I've thought critically on my headspace right now. I do think that I am unwell, but I do think I have the abilities to beat this illness. Or not beat, I don't know, it's not a competition, but I do think I have what it takes and what I need to be a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and poor mental health. It's just unfortunate that I don't know what I'm trying to say, but and I don't really know how I got here. You know, I've always continued to reach out to agencies like the hospital and, you know, my support staff and stuff. And I've been battling this for, like I said, over a decade. So I think just getting professional support and clinical support has allowed me to learn the skills I need to. But I'm not quite sure how I got here in any one way. I think it was a multitude of ways. My foot's asleep. It's getting bored of this conversation. I guess I'll just end the video here and continue to reflect on my own time. Maybe I'll shower, because showering is a coping skill of mine, and it does really help reset everything. Tip, as in, I guess that is a tip, but it's also temperature, intense exercise, progressive muscle relaxation, and pace breathing. I think that's what TIP stands for. It's a DBT skill. So tip is the tip. Tip top tip. Tippity top top top. Tip tip top top. You know, I do think about how I do have a good life, and I need to be more cognizant of that in these moments. And who would look after this stinky dog if I died? I guess my mother would, but no one would take care of Destiny how she needs to get taken care of. She would just, in her old senior years, like, someone just needs to, I could give him up. He's young, he'll survive, he'll bounce back. But I don't know. my cat, like, we've been together for 21 years. I don't know if I could do that to her. I do think about my pets are one of my anchors too. So I do feel like I have my own little family that I need to take care of, and to take care of them, I need to take care of myself. Just sucks. It sucks. Sucks. I wish I was not traumatized. And I wish that I could do so many things in my head that I'm not going to say on camera to my bees. And I just can't wait till I heal from this. However long that takes. And I hope I get there one day. So this feels like a natural ending to this video, so I'm going to end it here.